The Trevor Jackson Podcast. The Trevor Jackson Podcast.
Death Row. We think about a lot of these record labels that's owned by an artist, put artists on, but they're up under a imprint of a Universal or a Atlantic or a Def Jam or whatever. When they sell their proceeds, the person that is at the head, the Birdmans, the Rick Rosses, the Puff Daddies, the Jay-Z's, they keep all the money. Salute to J. Cole for putting his people in position to where they would never have to rap again. They are rich forever. Now, I want to keep it into the Dreamville conversation because Ari Lennox, Shea Butter Baby, she was one of the dopest artists on the label. I remember she was celebrating that J. Cole came and got her from her warehouse job. I think it was Lowe's or Home Depot or one of those places. And he came and got her and gave her a deal. You know, she just recently went viral for talking about the Martin Show and colorism and things like that. But I love Ari Lennox's music and her artistry, but she's always complaining about some shit. Like, you know, I'm not used to artists always complaining. You know, Wale is one of those artists that makes phenomenal music. But when you complaining about shit all the time, that's when people don't want to be around folks complaining. Am I lying? Tell me that in the comment section. What's your thoughts about that? Do you want to be in the presence of people complaining? Let's get to it though.
What pissed me off about Martin was how much he would go on Pam. Like, I know, like, and this is coming from a girl who I love me a good, like, joking ass movie, and it even when the joking movie is like, damn, like, that was fucked up. Like, you know, I'm not like too woke or something is what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm honestly not, I'm problematic. I'm pretty problematic, low key. But my point is that there are some things where I draw the line and it just bothered me. Or like, I don't know, it's like, Pam was so fucking beautiful and so fine. And I just feel like growing up as a chocolate girl, like, I don't even know if I was able to understand the greatness of Pam because of the light that I feel like I was being fed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like always going on Pam, always, like, that's all I remember. And I didn't like that. But like, so I feel conflicted because while I feel like this show is incredible, and I feel like Martin is a legendary show, and all of the actors and Tommy and like everybody, like legendary, amazing. Like, I adore them all. Like, you have no idea. And I adore Martin. Like, I adore him. It just pissed me off. Like the joking on Pam. I just didn't like that. You know, like, I always kind of feel a way about that.
You know, this generation is weak. I just want to tell y'all, and I just want to be honest with y'all. When I listen to y'all speak and stuff, y'all are bothered by everything. Growing up, I remember my close friends, we used to be talking about, look at your mama, I'm your daddy, boy. We knew we wasn't each other daddy or whatever, though, but we used to be calling each other, your mama cute today, boy. She put that on for me. We used to just be joking, and our jokes used to be extremely harsh. We used to talk about each other's shoes and haircut, but it made you better, man. You know, this generation is offended by everything. You can't say nothing. This cancel culture, I don't participate in it. At one point in time, was saying cancel people, cancel Fat Joe, cancel this person, cancel that. I'm not a part of that no more because that shit lame as hell. It's super lame. And you know, she said, I couldn't understand Pam's greatness because Martin was always going in on Pam. Pam was always going in on Martin. Also, it was just the nature of the way that the 90s was. People was joking, man. Your closest friends had the most harsh jokes towards you because they was close to you. And if you couldn't deal with that pain or that hurt, you couldn't go outside your friendship group to be able to converse with other people because you would be easily offended. And being easily offended is lame. She also talked about because Pam was a dark-skinned woman, you know, she didn't understand that people didn't appreciate her beauty. Everybody knew Pam was bad. You know, this is my era. I was a teenager in my early teens when Martin was out. Everybody thought Pam was bad. Everybody thought Gina was bad. You know, the girls thought Martin was handsome and Tommy, and he was the dope boy and all of that old type of stuff. They had Biggie. I watched every episode. I got the box DVD set still. You know, even though I don't got a DVD player. But it's just that Ari Lennox, man, these complaints and this nagging and stuff, it got to stop. But what I'm going to say before I read Pam's response is that Ari Lennox said that she's problematic. So it's you that's the problem. It's not Martin's show. I see a lot of people agreeing with what Ari Lennox is saying about Martin and colorism, and is Martin a colorist? I don't agree with that. I don't think Martin is that. You know, it was before Martin's show. If you know your history, Gina and Pam was on the first house party. Gina and Pam was also on Little Shop of Horrors, where that plant was talking. Feed Me Seymour. I know I might be aging myself or whatever though, but that show Feed Me Seymour with the plant talking, they was on that show also, on that movie. I mean, it's just that they had a chemistry and a relationship before Martin existed. So you got to know your history before you start speaking bad on a person though. But let me read this press release by Tichina Arnold. I don't want to call her Pam. Tichina Arnold. She said, Martin cracking on Pam did not come from a mean place. And the reason why I could say that because I was there as we were developing it. Where that came from was that me and Martin really went back and forth like that, she said. Our relationship and our dynamic was really built upon me being the best friend. And you know, the best friend is always the third wheel. She's always the hater. It had nothing to do with color, so that, you know, black women, dark-skinned women, they get insulted. So it was not derived from that at all, because that's not how Martin is. Salute. Salute to Shouty, man. Real talk, man. That's, you know, Martin is a generational show that black people as a whole should protect that and hold that at a high standard, because that was a good time in our culture and it highlighted us and it embraced us in a comedic, fun way that, you know, I feel like it's one of the dopest shows of all time. In Living Color, Arsenio Hall. Some of those shows, we have to protect the integrity in that. Real talk, man.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.